Well, they didn't have any other place for it. Yeah, you don't go to the basement if you haven't. Also, I was the first secretary. They needed a place for me to set up. And so we volunteered our basement. And we had a phone down there. And we had typewriter. And actually I had even students, who were helping out. And then the children, as they grew up, we had 2 phones sort of in the house. And they would know how to answer, ACLU phone. And they got a bit of ACLU from growing up. I was an advertising agency, and I was secretary and did all the stuff and whatever. And that's when, I became pregnant, not married. In those days, that was not a thing you did. You had to go away and take a trip or go visit a relative or some such. And so I investigated. Obviously, it was illegal. And so it all had to be an undercover type thing. But I did find someone in East Liberty to whom I went, and I had an abortion, or they gave me something, and actually I had it here in the house. And then I hemorrhaged, and so my mother took me to the hospital, and the police came, but they wanted to know who had done it and things. I really didn't know. I just knew where I was, so I'd never know what had happened. But I wasn't arrested. However, the advertising agency where I had been employed fired me because of it. When I was in the hospital, my mother came up and said they had called and said I was to never come back in the building again. So I know how difficult it is when abortion is not legal. I know how dangerous it is because I've know somebody who's several people who have died from, and I could have if I hadn't gone to the hospital. I was very fortunate. My mother didn't know I was pregnant or anything of that sort, but she supported me and helped with that. I got married, and then married people didn't work, and women, and so then I started raising children. My youngest is grown up here, and he really feels very comfortable here. The middle son was killed in a plane crash in Peru. He was down there as a culture exchange. And he had been an actor and was very good. Also, somewhat of a singer, I think. Did some work up in Clarion, and he was very good looking and very pleasant. And then the oldest one is now an attorney. So that's that's the family. And so I concentrated on ACLU and stayed there for 30-some years. And while I was with them, I got involved in a prison thing with the Pennsylvania Prison Society. I was a member. And then when I left the ACLU, their chairperson was leaving, and I took over, mostly because nobody else would. But I really was what in the world am I going to spend my time on? And poof, spend too much time. And somehow you get older and you don't do things as fast as you do, and you don't type as fast by any means. That's what goes on.